Good evening. This is Micah Mitchell with Madison County weather updates and crystal clear weather. I just wanted to do a real quick video talking about snow potential for this evening. I've had a crazy couple of days, and today I didn't get a chance to put a forecast together. It was all I could do to even pass along the National Weather Service notifications, but I do want to take a few minutes this evening around 8:25 p.m. or so as I'm doing this video. To look at what we've got going on and talk about what I think is going to happen. So we're looking at the radar across the region right now, and we can see that there's snowfall up, southwestern Michigan, northeastern Illinois, and it's kind of dropping, southeast, maybe a little bit east of southeast as it comes down. The this area right up here around Chicago, this is the one that if it's going to drop all the way down to our area, that's probably the part of the cluster that will. And probably some of this back here around Rockford, it's all kind of sliding this way. And but the bulk of it's really going to go off to our northeast up here, probably Marion to Muncie and northeast of that. Here's a little closer look at the precipitation to our north via radar scope. And you can see the precipitation dropping in. This is up in northern Indiana. We can see there are a couple little fingers of precipitation down here that are, they're getting ready to drop in to Madison County. Some very light showers. What's going on is there's some cold air to the north that is dropping rapidly to the south into this precipitation. And I'll show you here in just a second what's going on. And that will cause this rainfall to change over to snow, and possibly accumulating a bit here in the Madison County area. Better chance of accumulation again to the northeast, probably northeast of maybe a Muncie to Marion line. The NAM3K has really kind of been doing the best with this so far, even though it's kind of underplaying things a little bit too. It's missing a little of the precipitation that's kind of in this area right now, but it's doing the best with the track and coverage as a whole during the day. So here's at 9 p.m. and as we move on to 10, 11, midnight, and you can see the snow coverage now beginning to press farther south. Here we go into 1 a.m. Now the NAM3K has snowfall beginning to move into northwestern Madison County. And we back this back out, move ahead another hour, 2 hours. Now we're at 3 a.m. and it's got snowfall pretty much across the entire county. But again, we can kind of see these darker blues over here, kind of east and northeast of Muncie. So that's where the heavier snowfall is probably going to fall, is probably in a swath right in this area. And then Madison County will probably be looking at maybe a dusting, or maybe even just flurries in southern Madison County, up to maybe anywhere from a dusting to an inch in northeastern Madison County. Panning back out and following this the rest of the way through, then the snowfall as a whole moves out of the area by about 7 a.m. or so. So here's the snowfall that the NAM3K has. Again, if we zoom in with that, we got Madison County is right in here, and the NAM3K puts down anywhere from maybe a dusting in southern Madison County up to a couple of inches up around maybe the Summitville and Rigdon and Leisure areas, maybe even down to Alexandria. And then by the time you get down to Anderson, it's maybe a half inch to an inch. And by the time you're down to Pendleton, it's maybe anything from flurries to a half an inch. Again, this is what would fall from the sky. Looking at it a different way, that is snowfall depth, because that would be what the model thinks will actually end up on the ground. And as we push through, by the time the snowfall is ending, then we can see a little more what I was talking about, and that is very little in the way of snow down here around Pendleton and Marklettville, Emporia, those areas. Anderson may be picking up a half an inch to maybe an inch if it overachieves. And in northern Madison County, maybe from State Road 28 and north, maybe picking up an inch, maybe even 2 inches if things happen right. So that's an AM3K. I kind of agree with the way it's got things. And again, you can see it's not even a solid swath at that. And as soon as the snow stops, the ground is warm. The ground is going to melt the snow very quickly. We'll only get in the low to mid 30s tomorrow, but we should begin to see some sunshine, and the snow will be gone quickly, and we'll be back to the 50s by Sunday. Last thing I want to show you is this cold air plowing in from the north. So here again, NAM 3K around midnight, and you can see Madison County, Indianapolis, Muncie, still hanging right around 40 degrees. But the upper levels just above the surface will actually be much colder, much quicker. If we take a look here at the at a skew T, and we look down here, this this blue line right here is freezing. So you can see at the surface we're at 40 degrees, but by the time we're getting up to the 850 millibar level, a mile or so up, we're now below freezing right here. So, and we can see this yellow spot right there. That's where the snowfall is being made. So there's plenty of atmosphere for the snow to fall through before it gets to a level where it would want to start melting. So it probably will make it to the surface, but again, the surface is going to melt it off. So getting out of the skew T and just going back to the surface, again, this is around midnight. 1, 2, 3. You can see the cold air just plowing straight south. By 4 a.m. we're in the 20s. 5 a.m., 6 a.m. you can just see the cold air just plows in, and we end up by 8 a.m. we're in the mid 20s. So that cold air plowing in, again, is reaching here faster just above the surface. That's why this precipitation is looking like it's going to fall as snow. So again, we don't expect a whole lot out of this, and any impacts will be early in the morning, and they'll disappear quickly. It almost, other than on highways or something, it may not even be worth wasting a lot of treatment on the roads given the time that it's going to fall. So just know, if you're going to be out, if you need to travel between about 2 a.m. and 7 a.m., roads could be treacherous at times, especially bridges and overpasses. Those impacts will go away as we get into farther into daylight, and we get some solar warming through the clouds. So beyond that, if we zip through, you can see by the time we're getting into tomorrow afternoon, we're only in the mid 30s, drop back to the mid 20s again. But then you can see as we get into Sunday, the warmth surges back in from the southwest very quickly. The NAM 3K only goes up to about 50. It's possible we could get even warmer than that on Sunday. So that's the look at how things are going. Again, we don't really expect a lot of impacts. Where there are impacts, they will not be long lasting, and pretty much by later in the day tomorrow, the snow will have no impact whatsoever. So this is Michael Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. Everybody have a great weekend.